blocks for the 4-year-old program. And we have a basket, and we pass the basket to each child. They take a red, yellow, and blue block. And as soon as we bring them back, we say put the red one on the top, the yellow one underneath it. Place your blue block under the yellow block. Place them just as I do. Place your finger, and we put our left hand in our lap and point with our right hand. Place your red block. Okay. Place your finger on the top block. What color is it? And they answer red. Put your finger on the middle block. What color is it? And they answer yellow. Put your finger on the bottom block. What color is it? Blue. And then after you've introduced it, then they do it on their own. Place your finger on the first block. You have to show them that's the first. Place your finger on the second block. Place your finger on the third block. Close your eyes and tell me, and this is the fun part, have them close their eyes and say, what color is the top block? And they should be able to say red. What color is the bottom block? Blue. What color is the middle block? Yellow. Which block is the second block? And that'll be harder for them, but some of them get it. Which block is the third block? And which block is the first block? So they can tell you with their eyes closed, and it helps the mental image. The next lesson, we do 3 lessons a week usually in the blocks. So the next lesson, the teacher places her 3 blocks in a line. So the red is on your left, the yellow in the middle, and the blue on the right. When we're first introducing these lessons, we usually do it before we start our day, individually with 2 children on each side. But once they've gotten used to what we're doing, then they can be sitting across from you also and do it the opposite way and not have a problem with it. So place your finger on the block that comes before the yellow block. So they're going to be putting their finger on the red. But of course they're going to be facing their blocks as I am. Point to the block that comes after the yellow block, and that should be the blue one. Put the blue block in the red block's place, and put the red block in the blue block's place. I want you to do that, and when we do that, we say interchange, and you have them say interchange. Interchange the blue and the red block. So they do that. Which block is the yellow block? And they could say block 2, or they could say the second block, or they could say the center block, or the middle block. So they are learning vocabulary as we go. The next lesson, the teacher places her 3 blocks in a line as they were the day before, and their children, they place their blocks in the same line. Pick up the first block. Place it away over to the right. Place the yellow block underneath it. Place the blue block underneath the yellow block. So they're learning placement. Place your finger on the block above the yellow block. Of course, that'd be the red. Place your finger on the blue block. Where is it? The answer they should have is below the yellow block. Yes. Now place the blue block beside the red block. And that's that vocabulary for that lesson. Then lesson 4, you place your 3 blocks in a line. You place them close together. And you pull them apart saying, now I am separating the blocks. So they've learned the word separating. You repeat every lesson before you go on to the new lesson, each time you do blocks. Separate the blocks, so they do it. Move the blue block closer to the yellow block. Move the red block closer to the yellow block. Are the blocks close to each other now? The answer is yes. Then lesson 5, you repeat lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you place 3 blocks in a line in a different order. So you might put blue, red, and yellow. Pick up the center, the middle block, and they do it, but it's red now, not yellow. Place it in the palm of your left hand. Put it back in the center. Replace it. Pick up the block that comes after the center block. Place it on the back of your left hand. Replace it. These are all things that if you go fast enough, it keeps their attention and they love it. Then the teacher for lesson 6, you repeat 1 through 5, then you place the blocks under each other. So you'll have maybe the yellow, the blue underneath, and the red. So they follow your lead. Place the red block on top of the yellow block. Place the blue block on top of the red block. Now on this one we do it as a stack. And this is where sometimes we don't know what the manual means, but this is really good. It's a good lesson. Place the blue block on top of the red block. Place your finger on the lowest block, so they point to the lowest block. Place your finger on the highest block, which is the yellow in this case, and point your finger at the block in between the highest and the lowest. So they're learning between. Interchange the highest and lowest blocks, and they love that word, and they love to interchange. So now they're going to just put it upside down there, and that's interchanging the top and the bottom. Place your finger on the block that stayed where it was, that remained where it was. And of course that was the blue block. Put your finger on the block that is above the lowest block. That's the same one. Put your finger on the block that is below the highest block. It would be that same one. So they're learning all of these vocabulary words. Lesson 7. Repeat the other lessons and then place your 3 blocks in a line, a little bit apart. Cover the first block with your right hand. Uncover it. What am I doing? You are covering your 3rd block. Then the teacher goes this way and say, what am I doing? Covering the 3rd block with my right hand. What block has not been covered? The 2nd block. Cover it with your left hand. So they are supposed to put up their left hand and cover the middle block. Pick up 2 blocks with your right hand. Put them in the palm of your left hand. Transfer them to your left hand. So the transfer, they're learning what that is. Now transfer them back to your right hand. Take one of the blocks with your left hand and put it back. Return it to the table. What is left in your right hand? What remains in your right hand? And they answer 1 block. Then lesson 8, after repeated 1 through 7, you can go very quickly, and the children love the blocks. Choose 2 blocks, select the blocks. Select 2. Be certain to select one that is red, blue, or yellow, and one that is a different color. So you pass this around, and they have to take a red, yellow, and blue block. Each child gets to take them, and then add one that is a different color as you go around. And if they aren't taking it fast enough, so hurry, the bus is leaving. Place all of your blocks in a line. So they're adding blocks. And you take it around again and they add another block. And we can have a different color. So place all your blocks in a line so they have the old 3 and the 2 new ones. Point to the 2 blocks which have the same color. So we didn't get one that had the same color, so I have to do that. Listen more carefully to the teacher. Which 2 blocks are alike? And then they'll point to the 2 blocks that are alike. So just the same is called identical. Can you say identical? Let's say it 3 times. Identical, identical, identical. So which blocks are identical? So they'll point to the 2 blocks that are the same color. So they've learned another vocabulary word. Then lesson 9. Repeat lessons 1 through 8. Place the red block to your right. Place a yellow block below it. Then place 1 new block, the blue block below it, and then place 1 new block and the other new block last. Touch each block as you count from the top to the bottom, so they'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Touch the new block that matches the color of one of your old blocks. What color is it? And they say what their color is, red. How many other colors do you have? So there's 4 other colors, or 3 other colors besides the red. Which two blocks are identical? So they'll point to those two. How many different colors? Point to the block that is just like one of your blocks. What is the duplicate of your other block? So they're learning another word, duplicate. They point to the two red blocks. Then lesson 10, after they've done 1 through 9 the next day, lift up every block one at a time, then replace it. Did you lift up every block? Are the blocks different sizes? And they answer, no, they're all the same size. Pick up 2 blocks and place them directly in front of you. So they'll pick 2. What color is the first one? What color is the second? We always have first on the left. Now put the second block first. Now put the second, then you can reverse them. And so they've learned reverse, directly, one at a time, every, and so on. The lessons of 11, 12, 13, and 14 are pretty self-explanatory. And they're sorting the blocks. And then you have a little bag and you put the blocks in. And then part 2 is very interesting because it's saying the old block and the new block. So each child gets to have quite a few blocks, and you just hand them out because first there's 1, then there's 2, and there's 3, then there's 4. This is called building the blocks. And there's 5. You just go to 5 and the 4s. So there's a line for each one. And so each child has one of these, and they all have an interest in the blocks by now, so they'll follow along. So you talk about, you have a new one, block 1, then you have the old one, and the new block makes 2. The old one, the old 2, and the new one makes 3. The old 1, the old 2, the old 3, and the new one makes 4. The old 1, the old 2, the old 3, the old 4, and the new one makes 5. And they love to do this. And so they will be doing that each day towards the second semester. So this manual is very explicit, and that's the lessons for the blocks for the 4-year-old. Usually cooperates very well, but if they're not, they take the blocks away. And discipline, any discipline should be immediate and short, and never threaten a child.